Welcome to In the Know with Erika and Tracy. Say yes to less stress, the podcast where wedding planning meets peace of mind.
We're two seasoned wedding pros bringing you real talk, expert tips, and insider advice to help you plan your big day without the burnout.
Whether you are newly engaged, knee-deep in planning, or just love all things weddings, you're in the right place.
So say yes to less stress and tune in every month for your dose of wedding wisdom.
Welcome back to In the Know with Erika and Tracy.
Hey, say yes to less stress. I'm Erika.
And I'm Tracy, and today I'm so excited. We are diving into a topic that many couples face when planning their big day. Dun, 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 dun. Drum roll. Wedding traditions.
Woo! Yes. And there are so many traditions, like from the first dance to speeches. These traditions really can add a special touch to your celebration, or I've seen them cause some stress and pressure for some of the clients.
Yes. So the big question is, Erika, should couples embrace these customs, or is it better to break away from the tradition? I personally think that they should make their own tradition, but we'll dive in and we'll figure it out.
Okay. Look, so I really think that's a great question, Tracy. And I think I kind of agree with you a little bit, but it's something about me that I have a soft side for tradition. Call me that old Southern girl.
Yes.
But again, to your point, I think they should make their own traditions. But I think one of the biggest advantages, if they do traditional traditions, it helps provide like connections to their family and their community. So that's what I see why sticking with regular traditions. So
yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Traditions often have a deep rooted meanings, like couples and their family with culture, especially in the culture, if they have, So, but I just have to be honest. I don't really too much care for the traditions, and we'll dig deeper into that as we talk. But I have some favorites, and then I have some not so favorites.
Okay. Yeah, and I think as we dive into it, now you got my wheels to spinning. Like, do I really like traditions? Like the first dance. So oftentimes I do feel like that's one of the first things couples say, I want to do. I want to do a first dance. And then my thought is like, why do you want to do a first dance? Like, what's the meaning? And oftentimes, Tracy, have you ever, I don't know about you, but when I first started with these traditions, I don't even know if I even knew what they meant. Like, had you ever?
Girl. I'm shocked.
Right.
I'm shocked.
Yes. Like, so for the first dance, and so some people know I got a little Southern roots, and I think some of my family would laugh at this, but the first dance, it really dated back to like the 1600s, 16th century. And it was believed that if you did the first dance, it would ward off bad spirits, girl. And it's
Never heard of that.
Yeah, girl.
Right?
Yeah.
I personally like the first dance, but the meaning that I thought behind the first dance was that you were coming together as husband and wife, sharing your first dance, choosing a song that meant something to you both. And that's what I thought it was. So I like the first dance.
Yeah. And I do think so. I think with a lot of these traditions, as we kind of delve into them, is that they had a historical meaning. But like you said, before I really did research, I thought it was that too, like them coming together, showing their love and things like that. So I was really surprised when I saw what it meant. I was like, oh my gosh.
And I really like when the first dance, they choreograph it to Like
I
either they
know.
start off slow and then they get to dancing. I just love how some couples come up with some creative ideas. So I
Yes.
love the first dance. So
Yes.
I'll keep that tradition.
Okay. Okay. Look, so what's another tradition? So we talking about these traditions, right? So I think
Okay.
we both said
Okay.
we'll keep the first dance. So keep the first
Right.
dance.
Keep the
And
first
I
dance.
look,
Okay.
yeah, if you give me a fast choreographed
Uh-huh.
dance, look, hey, I'm even loving it more.
Exactly. Well, another tradition is the wedding speeches.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, how do you feel about those?
Oh, girl. So, okay, I think they can be amazing. And I think they can be traditional, meaning
Mm-hmm.
you could get somebody up there who's the life of the party, who really highlight the couple. And then sometimes you get people up there who embarrass the couple. I cringe when that, like, don't
Yes.
tell those
Those
stories that's gonna
intimate
make it.
stories.
Yeah. So yeah, have you
Girl.
ever
So,
had that happen?
oh yes, I've had guests who weren't supposed to give speeches got up
Oh.
to give a speech where the couple was looking at me like, can you stop them? Like, I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Right.
Like,
That was your people, right?
yeah. So what I did do on one occasion, I went to the DJ and said, turn the mic off.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Really?
And
Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
another story. And so
Uh-huh.
if this couple hears this story, they're gonna know it's them. But a sister of the groom got up to say a speech. She was on the list to give a speech. But what she said was not appropriate. She basically said, I was surprised that my brother was getting married. He was settling down because he
Oh.
changed girlfriends like he changed underwear. I fell out.
Oh.
I said, what
Oh
the
my
heck?
gosh.
Why would you say that at someone's
Right.
wedding? Oh my
Oh
God. It
my.
was so embarrassing. I felt so bad for the bride
Yeah.
because she's looking at him like, what's she
What?
talking about?
Oh.
But overall, I like speeches, but
Okay.
let's keep
Okay.
it to a minimum.
Okay.
The
Okay.
parents, the best man and the matron of honor or maid of honor.
Mhm.
No one
Mhm.
else. Because they have stories that you want to hear about the couple. You want to
Yeah.
hear when they were
Yeah.
young and then, where they are today. And I've heard some beautiful, beautiful speeches coming from parents, also coming from like the best man and the maid of honor. And it's just it's telling a story about their relationship with the couple and then how they've gained a new son or a new daughter and, a best friend. And I love speeches. So I'm going to say yes to the speeches.
Oh my gosh, girl, as you were talking, you gave me all the feels. Like I'm thinking about those wonderful speeches. It took me back to my wedding, some of my couple weddings. So I agree. Look, it sounds like we checking these traditions. So we're going to keep the speeches.
We're going to keep the speeches. So let's talk about the other traditions. Okay, so what about jumping the broom? I love jumping. When a couple comes to me and say they want to jump the broom, I love that tradition.
I do too.
I also love the lasso when the ceremony where they put the lasso on them. It's mostly in Catholic weddings, but I love that tradition. But moving back to the reception, the traditions of the reception. Look. So cutting the cake.
So I like cutting the cake if you can keep it. What do you say? Not contained, but I personally don't like when couples smash the cake in each other's face. I'm like,
no, I
you
don't like
spent all of this time getting dressed and putting on your best and you're loving on each other, and I know some of them may be fun loving, but I just feel like that smashing of the cake in each other's face it may be funny, but to me, it's just like a whole nother level of respect. And I might be going too deep with that. So
No,
I'm,
you're not going deep
yeah,
at all.
yeah.
No,
I like,
I say do not cut the cake. So
okay.
for pictures only.
Right, right.
Don't make a big deal. Don't choose a song. I remember back in the day, we had to choose a song.
Yes,
We
yes,
had to
yes.
invite all the guests around
Right,
to
yes,
come. And then, I say cut the cake for pictures.
yes.
Don't make an announcement. Just, don't even, I don't know. I just feel like you cut the cake, take the picture, and then go on and let the cake be served.
Right, because what they don't see is if you make it like a tradition and a part of the timeline, you're taking 15, 20 minutes off the timeline that you
Yes.
could be using for
Yes.
something else. And
Yes.
let's keep it honest. When people come up for the cutting of the cake, they get in the way of the photographer, the videographer, and you miss those images. So I'm with you.
Yes. So lately, I have been asking the couple to take their cake pictures before the reception even start. Because they come and they reveal they do the reveal of the room.
Right,
if
right.
that's in the timeline. And I asked them, I said, why don't you go ahead and get your pictures out the way with the cake so you don't even have to worry about taking time away from your reception to take the picture with the cake.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, you can pretend to cut the cake, but you're not going to cut the cake.
Wow, you know what?
I say no to the cake cutting.
Look, I learn something all the time. I said, this is a podcast for our listeners, but I'm learning and gleaning too. Okay, so we say no to the cake cutting.
I say no.
Yes, I love that. And you know what else I say no to? Because I think it gives, and I never looked at it like this, giving anxiety for the tossing of the bouquet and the tossing of the garter. Like, so I've actually asked couples, okay, well, why don't you want to do this? And so for the garter, I never even thought about this, but some brides say, he's going up my dress. Like, I don't want my parents to see that. And I was like, you know what? I never.
It's not respectful.
Yeah. Look at the lens. And even for me, I think I went in the back and took mine off and say, here, Tony. Like, I didn't even.
That's funny.
Yeah. So.
I'm in agreement with you. I say no to the tossing the garter. I really don't like the bouquet toss anymore. I used to love it because a lot of guests, whether they're single or whatever, they don't want to get up and even catch the bouquet.
Right.
So I say no to bouquet and garter.
Yeah, you're right, because like they almost feel like it puts a stigma on them. If I get up here, I'm saying, I don't know, like I want to be married. Right. So you know what? I think I'm with. Let's check those off. Look, get another first day. Get another dance on the books with the everybody and switch that up.
And speaking of dances, I do love the father-daughter dance and the mother-son dance.
Do you? Okay.
I say yes to those.
Okay.
I like them because it's like, the groom gets to dance with his mom and it's like, okay, mom, now I'm going to have a wife. So you're not going to be the first lady in my life anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And then the daughter and the father, I feel like the father is saying, my little girl is going on and she has her husband now. And so let me let her go. I love those.
That. Right. And that's like a nice, respectful way of saying, hey, we're the head of each other now, but we thank and appreciate you. So I'm with you. I like those too. And I just, some of the songs that they choose, Tracy, I'm just like listening to the words. I'm over there in work mode, but in the inside, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I know.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Okay. I think we done kept most of our traditions. So I think right now you want to take a little break and thank our sponsors, and we'll come right back and look at maybe some of the big downsides of why we say no to some of the traditions.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Be right back. We want to give a big shout out to our amazing sponsors. Thank you to Flawless Weddings and Events for your incredible design and planning. A huge thank you to Flawless Flowers for their amazing arrangements. We also appreciate Erika's Elegance Weddings and Events for your creativity. Let's not forget our musical director, Tony Bowers. You keep the energy high for us. A big thank you to BYC Photography for capturing our special moments. And last but not least, thank you to our awesome team at Power of Praise Network. We appreciate your support. We couldn't do this without you. And to our viewers, don't forget to check out our amazing sponsors. Until next time, bye.
So we're back, taking a short break. So Erika, do you feel that couples feel obligated to do these traditions?
You know what, Tracy? Absolutely, because I felt obligated to do the traditions. As I was planning, I was walking through the ABCD, and I felt like we had to do a first dance, but to be honest, the first dance caused more anxiety than it was really embracing the tradition because, I love to dance, but Tony ain't a dancer at all. And so when I told him we were doing the first dance, oh my gosh, he was like, you could just tell, you could see it in his face to the point. We even took dance lessons.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, we vacillated back and forth. Should we or shouldn't we? And then in my mind, me as a couple, we probably shouldn't because we don't dance like that. But I was thinking about my family gonna be there. Everybody had a first dance. So I had that pressure of feeling obligated. So I do feel people feel obligated. Have you seen that with your couples?
Well, yes. But I'll tell you a little story about myself. When I got married 20 years ago, I felt obligated to do the traditions because that was the thing to do, right? So when my couples come to me and say, do we have to do that? No, you do not. You do not. And I always tell them, create your own tradition or don't even just because they always say, we just want to party. We just want to party. We just want to dance. We want to just, we don't want to do all of that. And I say, well, then just don't do all of that. This is just a guideline, a tool for you to look at. If you want to do the bouquet toss, fine. If you don't, fine. I'm with it.
Look, girl, I wish you were my planner back then because we actually did do the first dance. I wish somebody would have told me you don't have to do it because we did it. And girl, what ended up happening? Tony stood in the middle of the dance floor and I danced around him. So,
oh, I wish I was there.
Oh my God, he did. And then when it was too much because I think the song was like 5 minutes long. He put his hand up like this, like stop the music.
Like stop.
Yes.
That's funny. Oh my goodness. I just feel like these traditions can overshadow the couple's unique story, right? Yes, I think they should create their own, what they want to do. If they want to have a dance or if they want to do whatever they want to do. You know?
Absolutely.
I think it's up to them and don't listen to the people that say, hey, you should do this. And how come you're not doing that? And, it's time for this. And then a lot of the couples don't even want to be on a timeline. They don't really, they go, what is this timeline?
Right.
Like, I always tell them, I said, the most important thing is the food. So we need to be on their timeline so that guests will get their food hot, not cold.
Right.
All the other stuff we can work around doing.
Yes. I tell them that part is very fluid, but like you said, if your food is cold, because the back of the house, they're dependent on our timeline.
Yes.
From a food perspective.
Yes.
So.
But what do you think about the tradition of having a flower girl and a ring bearer?
Oh my God. So I'm kind of torn with that. Like, if I kept either of the two, I would keep the flower girls because, I like to see the little girls dressed up with their little princessy dresses. And
Hmm.
then to me, the ring bearer, I'm give or take because honestly, most of the times they don't even walk down the aisle, Tracy. So you've made all of this hoopla, and they're like, I'm not going down there with all these people.
Right. I say, I love the flower girls. I love the ring
Mhm.
bearer, but I say, don't choose a flower girl that can't walk down the aisle herself.
Yeah,
They choose a baby, then
absolutely.
a parent has to carry the baby down.
Yes,
And like, oh,
yes,
that's so cute, but not.
yes, yes.
But what I really love, so I've had a few weddings where they had the ballerina go down the aisle
Mhm.
with the rose petals, which was
Yes.
so beautiful.
Was
Just
it? Oh my
gliding
God.
down,
Hmm.
dropping the
Hmm.
rose petals. And then I
Hmm.
even had a wedding where they had the grandparents, like it was the grandmothers
Hmm.
on both
Hmm.
sides where they walked down. I thought that was adorable. Like,
Yes.
because they didn't want any children at their wedding, so they chose their
Mhm.
grandparents. So I was just like, that is beautiful. So yeah.
No, I love that. And thank you for telling me about because I actually am planning a wedding and we're using a
Hmm.
ballerina just for that. So I've never done that before. So
Yes, yes,
I
it's
love
it's
it. Yes,
beautiful. You're gonna love
yes,
it. Yeah, it's
yes.
beautiful.
Okay. Yes.
So,
So
but
okay, and I'm with
yeah,
you too
so
with the grandmothers. Like seeing them just play a
yes,
part other than just sitting on the front row, you could see the
yes,
grandmother's faces light up.
they
So
light up.
I'm
Yep.
yes, yes, yes.
Yep,
So
that's a beautiful thing. So I'm okay with flower girl. I'm okay with ring bearer, but as long as they can walk
right,
down
right,
the aisle. We don't need nobody carrying nobody, okay?
right.
That doesn't
No,
look
no, no.
right.
Right. You just made yourself a groomsman or
Right,
bridesmaid. So
right.
so we talked about several traditions and whether we think they're outdated or not, and I think it's really not necessarily being outdated, but are they applicable for you? Do they really make sense for you and who you are of a couple? Whew, girl, I don't know about you, I'm
Hmm.
exhausted talking about all those traditions.
And there's many more
Yes.
traditions.
Did you realize it was that many traditions?
Not really, but it's in the timeline. So,
Yeah, yeah, right. So it exists, right?
and different cultures have different things. So,
Yes, yeah,
there's a lot more with each culture.
right. Because we both do
Hmm.
cultural events, so I'm sure you've
Yes,
seen some things like, oh, I didn't know that. Like I know mostly for my
absolutely.
Nigerian weddings, they have special dances, like, and it's fun, but
Right.
but yeah, it's
Yeah.
different culture, different traditions. So let me ask you this as we're wrapping up our discussion. I love talking to you, girl. Look, I just look so forward to our conversations. Hey, y'all,
Same
this is
here.
me and Tracy, like
Yes.
all the time on the phone, like, hey, you got a few minutes, you got some bandwidth.
Exactly. Exactly. And the bandwidth. I love when you
Right,
said it. You got the
right. I mean, do you
bandwidth,
have a
girl.
bandwidth to listen to this?
Yes. Yes.
So, my friend, what would be your takeaway for our listeners? So, we talked about our thoughts about traditions and those,
Hmm.
but what would be your takeaway for our listeners to have?
I just say create the wedding that you want. Sit
Yeah.
down as a couple
Mm,
and discuss. These are the things I would like to see us do at
yeah.
our wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they are traditional or
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
do whatever makes you feel good.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
It is about celebrating them. So I don't want you to be on your wedding day and it's like, this don't even feel like me. This doesn't feel like me. And
right.
it's more of a chore than a celebration. So I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And you do get those couples who feel like they have to make sure things get done. And I'm
Hmm.
like, just enjoy. We got
Yes.
this. We
Yes.
got
Right.
this.
Right. Look. Yeah. That's what you got us for. We got this.
Exactly.
Yeah. We got your
Exactly.
back. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
So that's what I would tell my couples is just create the wedding that you want, whether it's with the traditions or not.
So I'm going to throw a curveball.
Yes.
When you tell them that, do they embrace what you're saying, or do they struggle with making it their own? What have you found?
So some embrace it, and some say, oh, well, my mother will want me to do this, or my dad is asking me to do this. So they're torn between what their parents are saying, or maybe even their friends are saying, or what their friends did at their wedding, as opposed to what they want. So I say, what do you want to do?
Yeah. I often even say, okay, what do you want? But even, because some people still struggle, even they say, this is what I want, but this is what I got to have. So I say, well, let's have a conversation with your mom or whomever and see why is that important to them? Because sometimes they just have in their minds that this should be the way it goes. But when they sit and you ask them that, they're like, well, why do I want you to do that? And then sometimes they have valid reasons, but sometimes it's like, I don't know. And then it opens up a conversation and they can hear each other's heart. And then it really becomes what the couples want. So,
and I think it's all about finding the balance.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, look, that seems like it's a wrap on today's episode of In the Know with Erika and Tracy.
We hope this conversation helps you navigate your wedding planning and less stress with more joy. I got a little tongue twisted there.
Yes, look, more joy. Girl, look, I've been getting tongue twisted all the time. I'm like,
yeah.
Look, I love it. So look, hey, you all, don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts with us. We want to hear from you. We love you. We see you guys listening in. And let us know, do you believe in these wedding traditions, or do you prefer a more modern approach? Let us know. Hit us up.
Yes. Until next time, say yes to less stress.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on In the Know with Erika and Tracy. Say yes to less stress. If you found today's episode helpful, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share with someone planning their big wedding day.
Until next time, say yes to clarity, confidence, and calm.